when I was an officer, I thought everybody could read by now. Everybody can read by now. An 18-year-old boy walked up to me and said, "Can you read me my letter? Because I can't read." Stuff like that make you realize, like, okay, let me stop thinking a certain way and start moving differently to try to understand what's really happening and trying to be an impact. So when these things are still existing and are still evident today, they make the struggle harder. There's a reason why people say get around people that are like-minded, because those people can help you for real. The other people can't help you if they wanted to. They can't do nothing but hurt you. So you have to just understand in business, I got to pull the ones that are able to help me first, and then hopefully come back and get the others later, if time permits it.
Hey yo, G Dash, boy, take your hat off. Fine. This week on Hats Off with G Dash Jones.
You know what you, I say, you know what you, hold on. Ooh, you know what you're watching. Skirt. You watching Hats Off with your boy G Dash Jones. Oh man. That, the theme music. Y'all know the theme. I'm saying that's the theme music. Hold up. Ooh, skirt. That's Playin Tricks by DJ Killer Noise, Chris Jamal, and Courtney P. Check that out on all your streaming situations. You see what I'm saying? That's this week's theme music. Playin Tricks by DJ Killer Noise. You are watching Hats Off with your boy G Dash Jones. Oh, and when I tell you today, today, our guest. Ooh, we got, man, listen, when I tell you somebody that not only is he a poet, no. He's more than that. Not only does he use all types of situations, that's a fact, right? As well as open up a playground for poets, if you will. We're going to talk to Mr. Frank Frizzy Sykes, y'all. That's a fact. In case you don't know, you going to learn, right? We're going to get the story. I like to get the keys from the gatekeepers, talk change with the change makers and get the flavor from the taste makers, you hear me? So, again, that's what you're going to see on Hats Off with your boy G Dash Jones. Also, in case you don't know, I will also be updating your calendar. I got some events that I'm going to tell you about, right? Don't want you to miss. Also, give a quick hat tip. Blip, blip. I said a quick hat tip. Blip, blip to a few things happening in and around town. Again, an episode that you don't want to miss. Boom, right? So, as you should know, by the way, right? Listen, this week, next week, you won't see me, okay? Okay, because I'm going to be eating. I'm going to have me a whole turkey leg. Maybe. I don't know what I'm going to be doing, but I won't be him. However, you will see me on Thursday for a special episode sponsored by Launcher. We'll be, talk to some of the entrepreneurs about the situation. Hey, listen, who let the gate open? See, you that type of guy. You make me remember that line. You a who the hell left the gate open type of fella. You know what I'm saying?
What's going on?
How you doing, bro? How are you, sir?
Man. I am. What about yourself?
Listen, another day in paradise. By the way, in case y'all don't know, this goes by the man, the myth, the legend. He goes by the name Frank Frizzy Sykes, y'all. Woo! Listen. Oh, y'all see it. Y'all see it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about everything from Frizzy Productions. That's a fact. To Poets Playground. That's a fact. To how he got his way into poetry. But first, I need you to know. I do a thing, y'all. I do a thing where I tell people, I like to update your calendar, right? I have a list of events that I'm going to say in a poetic fashion. What I need you to do, sir, is you're going to have to help me out. First and foremost, if you have any events that you would like me to add on to the calendar, let me know, because this is virtual, this is live events, this is all types of things that can happen. I'm going to add this to the calendar. So is there anything coming up that you want me to mention in this update?
Well, every day, Monday through Friday, it's Poets Playground in the morning. It's way too early for it, but it's always the best part of the day. That's Monday through Friday, Central Standard Time, 7 a.m. is what time we get up and we play with poetry. So if you want to put that on it, that's virtually. And everybody can attend. My 7 may be your 8, or if you're on Eastern Standard Time, or my 7 may be your 5. So it don't matter. Get on up. Get on up early in the morning with us over there in California. So that's definitely something that, you know, y'all should come and enjoy. If you're a poet, a spoken word artist, or anyone that's real about your poetry and you want multiple ways of people hearing you, right? You got to get it in some type of rotation or something that puts it out there. So that's opportunity for poets to, of course, you know, put a poem, submit it, so it can get played several times so people can hear it. Just to hear you once ain't enough. I'm just gonna tell you like that. If you only heard every song you've heard in your life one time, you wouldn't be singing them songs. You just gotta understand that. But that's there. In real life, in person, every second and fourth Friday. Again, this is every second and fourth Friday of every month, with the exception of November and December because of Christmas and Thanksgiving. And I actually just looked at the calendar this year for Thanksgiving. I thought the fourth Friday was Black Friday, but you know, this one fell kind of funny. The first fell on a Friday, so it made 5 Fridays. Crazy things happen sometimes. But nevertheless, every second and the fourth Friday, you definitely can plug in Nashville, Tennessee at Island Vibes Lounge and Restaurant for Poets Playground live and in person. I'm the same way that you see me here online. I'm just as crazy there as I am here. It's fun. It's poetry. It's catering more towards poetry. I kind of need poetry needs its own arena. So that's why I kind of, you know, push a little out. We do some music, but we don't want it to get out of hand. It's for poetry, for spoken word, writing, literal, whatever. But that's every second and fourth Friday of every month. You can definitely go to frizzyproductions.com if you are one who wants to headline a show or be a feature in a show. Opportunity is out there for you to do so, as well as to be paid for doing so. But again, frizzyproductions.com/poets-playground. That'll take you to where you need to be at to find out how to plug in and make that happen for yourself. If you're serious. Now, if you're just you know, if you're healing and this is therapeutic for you, hey, we got places for you too. It's an open mic. You can share. We got that as well. So we covering both angles. But Hunt Joe's. Yeah, I got another spot, man. They hit me up. They said, hey, man, we want some poetry. So I said, all right, I'll do another one. Do one more. Hunt Joe's is every first Thursday of the month, again in Nashville, Tennessee. That's Hunt Joe's restaurant and lounge. So it's another, yet again, lavish place that I cater more to. It's just, again, the poetry now. And it's more on the beginner up to professional level, but really, you know, I want those newbies in there so y'all can get your right on and really can get your feet wet, because y'all get scared when y'all get at the professional arena. So we got the baby camp over here at Hunt Joe's that y'all get your feet wet, do a little writing, and that's, again, it's first Thursdays of every month. First Thursday, second and fourth Fridays, and Monday through Friday, sports playground in the morning.
All right. Let's see. Let's see. Now you gave me some things. I'm gonna use them. I'm gonna update the calendar in poetry form. I do need one more favor.
Talk to me.
Now. When I say, can I update your calendar? I need you to say yes, you can. Can you do that?
Okay. Yes, I can.
Okay. Let's go ahead. Can I update your calendar?
Yes, you can.
Can I update your calendar?
Yes, you can.
Can I update your calendar?
Yes, you can.
Update your calendar.
Yes, you can.
Well, I'm thinking. On Friday, if you don't see me, you can go to the Queen and see Olivia Rubini. Guaranteed those vocals will get you right where you need to be. Or you can stay at home, step up open mic with Tizzy May. Guaranteed to get you right. Saturday, Opera Delaware, Pixie's Piano. What you gonna hear is them sing. Even got the clarinets out. So, whoa, I know what you want. Maybe you want some soul. Best kept soul? Of course. You already know it's the Fantastic Voyage 15-year anniversary extravaganza at Dahlia, hosted by me. Maybe I'm sounding insane. You want to stay at home. Origin of Thought with Valerie Lorraine, Starfield Saturdays. Okay, I'll say on Sunday, Divine Styles, Top Home, guaranteed to get your words already flowing. Now I know on Monday, here's where you go. Stay at home, Harvey Roll, live on the Cole Show. Or maybe here's a quick thriller, WJBS is going to have you bouncing around with Darnell Miller. Of course, this is what's going to get you on Tuesday. Cuts Deep, Belfont Cafe is what you'll see. Maybe you'll stay at home and watch me. Hats Off with G, sponsored by Launcher DE. Oh, that's where you'll see Latoya Pendergrass talk. I guarantee she'll even make your heart start to spark. But we're not done. Wednesday, Thanksgiving. Oh, have some fun. Universal Funk Order, Richard Raw Word Warriors. All it's the band with the blues reincarnation. Yes, you got plans. Queen Woman 10, or maybe again, you got your writing on. It's a blessing. What's the word on the tag app? Once again, I promise you then. We're back around the Thursdays. Well, I guarantee you might not see May, but you can get your turkey. Okay, Poets Playground, that's Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. virtually FEST. Otherwise, convert the time for wherever you be. Then every second and fourth Friday at Nashville, Island Vibes. Get yourself right, get your pen right, let your pen thrive. Every first Thursday, well, I'll say at Huncho's, guaranteed Nashville. Oh, let your words flow. In case you don't know, this is where you are. Hats off with G Dash. Update your calendar. Yeah, I mean, you know.
Yes, you can. I like it. I love it.
Word salad. I like to do a little word salad. Because it's different when I use word salad with dressing.
Yeah. It's got different taste to it. It's like cooler taste. Y'all can go back and you got everything right there. I don't know what else you need. All you gotta do is go listen and find out what you want to do for that day. That's that. I think the week is cold.
That's a
Sunday and
Saturday. And just so y'all know what I'm gonna do, when I post this, I'm gonna wind up clipping this hopefully sooner than later, and I'll tag all the events involved, so that you can go ahead and check it out. And if you got an event going, please feel free. If you're watching, you'll be able to post yours as well. Let people know what's going on. Now that we got that out the way, I have to say again, this is an honor. You are watching Hats Off with your boy G Dash Jones. Listen, okay, once a month I like to have the honor of highlighting not just a poet, right? And shouts out to all my poets, but poets who are able to create platforms for poets. Say what? I said poets who create platforms for poets. I'm talking about I've had Artie Fox. I've had everybody from Pyro the Poet. I've had Ramrock Speaks. I've had all types of folks here that have done different things. One of the platforms that I've been on early on in this little virtual thing was Poets Playground, brought to you by this gentleman here. When I say brought to you by, I mean what he does is he produces the different events. You saw he got 2 different spots in Nashville. Okay, I didn't even know he'd be in Nashville. He'd be in Nashville saying we be there with words. Okay, listen, we got that. Frizzy Productions is gone. Poets Playground, Frizzy Productions. Man, listen, again, this man goes by the name of Frank Frizzy Sykes, y'all. Talk about it. What? Y'all know it. How you feeling, good brother?
Man, listen, I'm glad to be here. It's an honor, of course, to be here on the screen, gracing yet again to the people, you making this happen. Thank you for doing what you do in the community and all that good stuff, man. I'm blessed. That's all I can say. This is a blessing in itself, and I continue to pass blessing down. So I'm good.
Okay, well let's start off with letting the people know something, because I did a like Glades. So you go ahead, tell the people just a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, of course, I'm a 40-year-old man. I like long walks on the beach. And okay, not that type of interview, but check it out, yo. Frank Frizzy Sykes is my name. I've been a spoken word artist now. I stepped on the scene probably 2015, maybe 14, if I really pushed the issue. But definitely 2015 was when I actually made the decision to hit stages and perform the art of spoken word. As far as business, I am the owner of Frizzy Productions, which is in itself was built to push me as an artist as well as marketing for businesses. So kind of colliding both together to make a dream come true, basically, is what I was doing with it. It, of course, as time has progressed, it's went to a place to help others and then been snatched back because of things that happen in life. Everybody ain't really ready as they should be or as they think they are. But that's another story for another day. But Frizzy Production is there. Also with that, I do stage production. So I'm one that literally can put the stage down there for us to play on and then pack it up for the night. So when it comes to sound, when it comes to lights, when it comes to the stage, when it comes to microphones and anything else that you need for production, I can make that happen. But also, like I say, I work with businesses to get them seen creatively. It's where the money is. Marketing is one of the things that businesses need. They need creative ways to get seen. And that's kind of tucked into Frizzy Productions as well as Poets Playground, which is a product of Frizzy Production. And clearly, Poets Playground is something created for poets. I encourage you to come play. I encourage you to practice speaking, writing, or whatever it is that you need to do. And I encourage you to hit the stages if it's something that you feel is your passion, as if you want to send whatever message out to the world in whatever creative way that you can, whether it be virtually online or whether it be in person. We have the virtual platform as well as we have an in-person platform. I personally prefer virtual because we can reach more, if you understand what I'm saying. But then, like I say, we do like to play in person too, to be able to touch and hug and really feel and connect in that way as well. I don't know what all y'all want to know about me. 40 years old, Black, African American, born here in the United States. I've lived here all my life. I'm in Tennessee. My parents originally came from Florida, so my roots stem from there, down in Tampa and Plant City, Florida, and Orlando, and even Miami area. Of course, my father was a minister, moved from Florida to Tennessee, and then I was born here. 6 sisters. I'm the only boy. Father passed away when I was 13. I lived with the girls majority of my life. Yes, I love all queens and respect them at a whole nother level when you grow up, with that being just around you. Went to high school, graduated, went to college, Austin Peay State University. Let's go P to my people that P Pride there up in Clarksville, Tennessee. And just been rocking it out. I mean, that's me. In a nutshell, been acting. I've been an actor on stage plays. I've done so many things in my life that literally, like, if you look at my background, you got guitar over there, the keyboard is over there. I play musical instruments. I do a lot. I try to maximize life. If you need your car worked on, don't call me, but I do work on cars. I just don't like to do it no more. Hurt your hands, get your fingernails dirty, all that stuff, and I done went over to like the clean side of my life. But that's just me in a nutshell. Hopefully that kind of wraps a lot of the stuff up. I'm sure I left something out, but
man, listen, you hit a lot of points. Instantly said, take me to another place. What? Take me? Okay, but that ain't even where you started. You started in Tennessee, and you started in Florida. You know, when back when Dion was down there. Okay, so I'm and I don't mean coaching, I mean playing. You was down there then. That's when you was around there. Here's my questions, right? So now we getting into it. I got a background. We about to start some things.
Okay.
Because I want to go back. Because throughout all of that, how did you get into this journey of poetry? Like, how did you wind up, like, with the words? Where'd that come from?
So, something I left out that I didn't realize I left out, right? 2007, I started a career in law enforcement. I actually started in corrections first. So I used to work in the prison known as CCA. Used to be Corrections Corporation of America, changed, of course, down to Court Civic is what it is now. But 2007, I started working there. And the thing that took me to working in that field was I was working other places. I worked at T-Mobile for so long, you know, customer service, doing that. I moved over to Nissan, consumer affairs, and dealing with vehicle issues and things of that nature. But those jobs kept outsourcing and moving to other places and things of that nature. So it made me say, hey, I need something that ain't going nowhere. So in that decision, law enforcement definitely seems like it's solid. It's been here enough, and it can't pick up and leave, right? So definitely I started being a guard in the prison in 2007 to 2010. And then I migrated over and became a deputy sheriff. I went and applied for the sheriff office in Nashville, Tennessee. I applied for the sheriff office. I applied for the National Guard. I applied for several things. And I said the first one that come back I was going to take, and it was the sheriff office in Nashville, Tennessee. So, and during that career, I started experiencing life differently. I always tell people there's two ways you can learn a lot in life. One, you can travel the world yourself and see it from place to place as you open your eyes and try to let it come to you, or the world can come to you. And when you take a role and you're in that field where the world is coming to you, meeting all walks of life from other locations in the world, you know, meeting them, talking to them, listening to what they have to say or their opinions and stuff of that nature, it fed me a lot. And as I was deputy sheriff and these incidents were happening around me, from my understanding, it just got to a point to where it was bothering me. And I'm like, dang, this stuff is happening and ain't nobody saying nothing. Mm-hmm. And, you know, you look for somebody to say something, or like somebody got to say something about the situation, and they're not saying what needs to be said. And here I am in uniform, with knowledge of why law enforcement is this way, why this stupid stuff is happening, the Sandra Bland's, the Michael Browns, the Trayvon Martin situation, right? So I'm seeing it happen, and I understand both sides because I've been civilian, I am civilian, and you understand what you don't know when you are now law enforcement, because I learned a lot of stuff that civilians don't know, you know, in training and in everything else. And it pushed me to a point to where I said, you know what, I'm tired of looking for somebody else to say it. I had to be the person to do it. So that forced me to say, take my skills. I already been acting in high school and college, you know, and in professional life. Take my voice. I've been on radio, did radio with Extra Mix Media up in Detroit. Take all these things that I know how to do and bring it to the people in the package that needs to be done. And spoken word was just one of the things I said, if I can get the attention of the people to listen to me, then that's what I need to do. And that literally, like I say, in living life, it just kind of formed me to be the existence that I am. So a lot of the closer people to me, they really see the depths and they understand, like, y'all get a little taste. They get the full dip, and we really go into deep conversations, and they really get to understand why my pieces are what they are. Why I say certain things a certain way, and just trying to really connect and pass a message, as poets have always done in life. We always pass down stories creatively as we can get, even in music, right? And it's just, yet again, like I say, just something that made me say, use your tool, stop looking for somebody else to do it yourself.
Okay, now I must say, right, that is heavy in a lot of ways, and I'm trying to just to piece it together. So you got when you got into the force, like when you cut over, what was it like making that decision to be a cop as a black man? Like, was that like, should I not do this? Or was you like, you know, we need representation? Like, what was that? How'd you get there?
I was ignorant. I'm just gonna be all the way honest with you. Had I known today what I know today, that would not be a decision I would have made back then. As a matter of fact, when I got to where I am today, I resigned back in 2018 for that reason, because you realize what I signed up for wasn't what I signed up for. But in being ignorant and being raised in an environment that have you thinking certain ways, you know, you want to make a change, right? All this stuff is going on in the world. You want to step in the uniform and be that voice, be that person, and say, hey, this got to stop. And then you realize there's some more smoke that's behind the scene that you didn't know about, to get you to really wake up. And that's pretty much what happened to me. So I just be honest. I was ignorant. I didn't know it was that bad. I was thinking the things that I was supposed to think at the time to make the decision to be an officer. I want to have fun. I want to be in the car. I want to, you know, the lights, the sound, the sirens, you know, just the energy, the aggression, all that. And then you realize, hold up, what are you doing? So that's my ignorance. Anybody, most people that do it usually do it because they either passion led or they're ignorant.
So with that said, even understanding that, what was kind of the hardest thing or the point that made you be like, and if you can't mention it, I'm cool. But was there a thing that made you be like, I'm off this. I gotta go. Gotta go. Can't do it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Of course, like I said, while I was there, I've always been one to excel in a lot of things I did. When I played sports, I excelled. When I worked at T-Mobile, I excelled. When I worked at Nissan, I was excelling. When I worked at the prison, I became SORT, Special Operation Response Team member, excelling. Even at the sheriff office, I was Officer of the Month and then Officer of the Year, one of the highest awards you can actually get, right? So you get to rubbing elbows with people, and you get to trying to make some of the stuff that you really, have a passion to make happen. And ultimately, as I was trying to get that done, it got shown to me that they don't want it that way. So when we talk about law enforcement is in place and is in place to help prevent crime and that we're trying to stop crime from happening, it's not really that they're trying to stop crime from happening, because if they stop crime from happening, your ass out of job, right? So what they want is they want it to continue. They want to give you the smoky mirror of they wanting it to stop, but to keep the cycle still continuously going on and on and on. So a lot of the ideas that I was putting out to say, hey, like when Sandra Bland's situation happened, I wanted to put a process in our intake and say, hey, as soon as they come through the intake door, if they are acting out and are really like saying, hey, this shit ain't right, start an investigation from the door first and try to find out if this arrest is appropriate before things go any further, because we could find out if this is legit or this is some officer that just got the hot head and now all of a sudden I'm going to prove to you who I am, I was trying to get that implemented and it kept getting ignored and they'll pass it around, and the whole process is just set up to make you tired or to make you tired or till you pass out or pass away. They don't ever want to fix it. They just want to keep passing the book. Hey, go talk to so-and-so, go talk to this person. No, you the head. Why you can't make decisions? Well, that's why this person hired that person sent me to another person. So eventually it just got to a point where you say, you know what? I see it. I understand. Y'all really can't we really can't do it. And the honest God truth, I sat down with the upper heads and he looked at me in my eye and said, I can't do what I want to do, which let me know that there were other powers that exist above him.
Right.
That still controls his decision, even though he's the decision maker. So the whole thing in itself is just set up for you not to be able to do what you want to do, and to basically kill the time that you have in trying to, so that it's still gonna happen even when you're dead and gone.
Okay.
So that made me say no.
Now, with that said, right? Before you got to those lessons, before you got to using your voice in that way, were you already writing poetry?
I mean, from youth in high school to the love letters, the sweet stuff you do for the girls, that definitely already kind of had me engaged in writing poetry. Like I got a poem that I wrote to a girl in a picture book right now, way back in the middle school days. So I've always been interested in it. Had a teacher in high school, Miss Moore, my English teacher, and she's just one of those teachers that literally you either gonna love her from her attitude or love her from the stuff that she made you do. I just loved it in general all around, and she kind of introduced poetry in a more creative way to us through English, and just from there, it's just been one of those things that I've always, you could call me the nerd. I've always been smart. I never was the one to struggle, in any other things. I've always been interested, and still, even now, I'm interested in learning stuff all the time. And it's one of those things I've just been doing up until the point of, like I say, when that happened, and they say, you know what, I'm tired of looking for people to say something that I can say myself.
How did you know that poetry was the best way? Because you could have went you could have wrote a play about it. You could have, went back to radio. You could there's a million ways. What made
all
you
that
be like
other stuff? I looked at it, and you are absolutely right. I looked at all this other stuff, and I'm like, this stuff has been happening, and what's been happening is some people have been catching it, but the majority it go over their heads. Like they'll put something in a movie for you to be like, hey, pay attention. But you're looking at the movie, and you're so entertained and laughing or whatever else that you miss what the whole movie was about or what that creator was trying to get you to see. Music. It's in music, right? when I was in high school, a song that we used to get crunk off of in the football locker room was Pastor Troy, "What if heaven was hell," or vice versa, right? And he was saying some stuff in vice versa. Clearly, the song was it's titled "Vice Versa," right? And getting you to look at things like if you were learning heaven was this, but it was really hell, and vice versa. You know, putting out messages that I ain't even hear at the time, but now as I've aged, I'm like, dude, he was saying something that I should have paid attention to back then. So when you look at this stuff in the creative ways that people have come up with to try to get messages out, and you see that they're working on some, but not enough or not fast enough, then for me, it was like poetry, words, remove my music. I don't want to hear no music behind, no track, no nothing. Just my words. I felt like that was more of a direct thing that you can't miss. So if I say, this is this, you got to understand that this is this. And that's what forced me to say, use poetry, use spoken word, and say it. You already know you got to be bold as hell to say some of the stuff that most people will only think. They will only think it. They didn't want to say it themselves, but they'll never release it out of their mouth. But with poetry, with spoken word, it gives that arena for that to happen. So that's why I choose it.
Okay, absolutely. Now, so then you go into that medium, but as a, that kind of leads into writing more than performance. But what made you? How'd you wind up as a spoken word artist? When did you start getting on stages and kind of doing your thing that way?
After I wrote enough and I wanted people to hear it, that's what forced me to start going to the mic. Because like I said, I grew up in church. My father was a minister, so I already had this background of what happens in church, right? People listen, they go sit, they go listen. What happened in poetry arenas? People go sit and listen. I don't want to be preaching. If you ask me honestly, that's part of a problem. But that's another story for another day. So instead of going and pretending to be a preacher, putting on my little thing right here and telling y'all, because it's already been done. Some ministers have done that, and a lot of people have shunned away from those ministers, my father being one of them. The church literally stopped showing up because they didn't want to believe what he was saying. Mm-hmm. But again, having that thing exists to say, hey, this didn't work that time, why am I going to go try to do the same thing? Let's try it with this way, clear, and so that when people hear poetry, most people don't like it because they know it's raw. They know it's real. They want to run from truth. But if I can get those that are there, they at least have the opportunity to hear it. So that's what got me in the lane of spoken word. I've seen and heard some of the people. I told Miss Parker last week or so, one of the people that I caught when I was in college was Prentice Powell. And if you ain't heard that poem, Prentice Powell got a poem out that say, I am the system. And he'll break that system down so good in that poem. If you're not paying attention, you'll just think it's a creative poem. But he's literally saying the things that I knew. And how he set up there and literally ran down how this system is structured to get you to go in the direction that we've gone. That made me say, ooh, that's what it needed to be. It needed to be just that real and that raw.
Okay, so now, do you remember the first time you got on stage?
Yeah. So back in, it took a couple of times, honest to God, truth. And so that's why I understand people. Like I've been acting, I've been on stages before, right? But with poetry, spoken word, it was different. It was an open mic called Wine and Rhymes in Nashville, Tennessee. I found out about it, right? And one of my first poems that I wrote was I'm Sorry. It's a poem titled I'm Sorry, and it's literally the standing in uniform as an officer apologizing to the people, right, for the stuff that is going on. And that was my first poem that I was going to put out. And Wine and Rhymes, they had it on Wednesday nights. Was the night that they was having Wine and Rhyme. My boy, shout out to my boy Lucky and Chase for doing that. But I showed up in the parking lot probably about 3 times, 3 weeks in a row, and I went home. I would show up, and I said, I'll wait the next week. And then I go back the next week, And I talked myself out of it again. So one time I just said, look, you done showed up enough. Go in here and see what this thing about. And I kind of had to force myself to go in there and do that. And then these were the pieces that I was presenting to them. And when they were hearing it, it was making this impact. And that was back in 2000. And like I said, it was either the end of 2014, beginning of 2015 that started happening.
Does it still feel the same now as it used to? Because, you know, we're 6, 7 years in of you being on the stages and doing what you do. Is it the same feeling?
What feeling? Are we like, does it still feel good that I do it, or are you meaning like the nerves of doing it?
All of it. The general, you get on stage, whatever that thing is, when you, but right before you get on the mic, when you're on the mic, when you get off, is the feeling.
Because we're human, I like to think, because we're human, you're always going to have the nervous side of you. That side that's going to say, you know, it's about to happen. Are you ready? Right? Over time, that gets easier because, you know, you just develop that what I call effort mentality. You know, let's go do it. You know, get hyped up, gas yourself up, go back to the days of playing sports. You know, get hyped, get ready to put on a performance. So that still, even now, has its part, but it's smaller. I can say it got easier over time for me to talk to people, to be on stage, and to say some of the things that I know they are not wanting to hear or agree with. It gets easier while I'm up there. It's like floating. It's a moment. It's an experience. It's enjoyment. I can only hope that I don't miss any words, but I'll never tell anybody when I do, because they don't know. But it definitely is. I guess you can call it an addiction. Because when you do it, you want to do it again and again and again. Especially when I can do it, like make it a playground, make it fun for everybody, make it entertaining, right? And then at the end of it, it's always a crash. I'm tired. It takes a lot of energy out of you from your excitement, and then when you finally calm down and come back down to norm, it's like I need to take a nap and regroup and get myself back together. So it's a progressive thing, and each and every time it's that way. I have a lot of people. One point I'm gonna call out Alondis. Alondis, when she comes, she always, I want to go out at the end. I want to go. I say we ain't never made it out afterwards. We always crash, go on to sleep, struggling to get to the house. You know, it's a real, especially when you organize and head the event, right? You got to be there at the beginning, all the way through, and shut it down at the end. So I be tired. I'd be like, I'm not going to no other spot. After that, I need to go home, go to sleep. Y'all have fun. But
absolutely, I definitely get that, because you're pouring your soul out into the art, and because, you know, you mentioned this, you know, you're creating an environment, right? Now, and just in case y'all don't know, you're watching Hats Off with your boy G-Jones. Of course, I'm talking change with the change makers, getting flavor from the taste makers, and getting keys from the gatekeepers. Now, my man Frank Frizzy Sykes here. As we were talking about, one of the things, like you said, you're putting together the production, right? So, but you started off like, all right, I got to get this message out of me. Okay, so I'm writing, I'm performing to get this message out from me to be heard, and then you go into production. Okay, what made you decide to start producing events? How did that happen?
start connecting and linking up with a lot of dope poets, man. Other people that had messages. So if y'all ain't plugged into them, go plug into them right now. Po Boys and Poets. That was some, yet again, in my earlier stages, I ran across a guy from Chattanooga, Tennessee, brought that to Nashville as an open mic. And basically myself and Mo and TJ and now Spoke, we took it and kept pushing it to be bigger than it was. So I caught a glimpse of, again, being who I am, seeing artists hit the stage at the open mic and just wowing me, right? And when you get wild, you're like, I got to get that person. So what I started doing was putting together a team. I wanted to literally have them, if I could have got them on to understand that this was going to be a show that was going to get them paid, and y'all need to stay here, work together, and do what we need to do, it would have been beautiful. bigger and better. But life is happening. A lot of them, some of them had kids, had jobs, couldn't be there on time, couldn't break away from life and working to be an artist fully. So it just presented more issues. But nevertheless, those people are what kind of made me say, hey, let's try to do this bigger than what it is, because y'all dope. And I know people not hearing y'all. I know this is just staying in our local community and in this little area because y'all ain't got time to push it. I do. I got time to put it. So this is all I need to happen, you know, and just meeting these dope people, Bria, Spoken Words 92, Mama, Wolf Season. We was in Nashville, Tennessee, man, throwing these events and packing the place out. But again, it was just hard to keep everybody together. And I tell everybody all the time, an artist, I never managed another artist in my life. No, I don't want to manage nobody because it's harder now than it was in the past.
Really? Wow.
Things didn't get. Competition grew. We went from, I tell like my grandmama used to own a space down in Florida. She, you know, it's what they called the juke joint back in the day, right? The juke joint was the place where everybody went. It wasn't like 10,000 juke joints. It was one. So everybody would be at this one location and it would be dumped. And that's how you got discovered back then. But now today, when I talked to my grandmama back when she was living, she thought that the juke joint stopped existing and she didn't realize that it transitioned to clubs. So, and her not being able to transition with, she just thought it would just end it. But now you got clubs all over the place, right? And people, we've populated the earth more, so we don't all go to the same place. So that makes it harder to get people in a certain location to pay attention because we all scattered now. Social media is one of the things that kind of make it easier when you can get them, but then again, if they don't pay attention long enough, within a matter of seconds, they're gonna scroll on past your stuff and keep going, right? But that's those things, those challenges from how it used to be back then to where it is now are a full 180. And it's harder. Your time is less. A lot of people don't realize the time commitment. You know, back even when I played football in high school, we understood this word was sacrifice. If this is something that you want to do, you're going to have to sacrifice some stuff, right? You're going to have to, chasing these girls ain't going to be able to be there. You got to hit them books. You got to literally cut out the bull crap out of your life. And a lot of people don't even really understand what that is. They up here smoking weed, drinking, and then they can go get up the next morning and do, no, you can't. So if we're not going to make those sacrifices to do it, it's harder. Many reasons now to where like it's not the same. I don't think the people even realize that the people back then that did that are old, dead, or not doing it no more, right? They don't do it that same way. It has transitioned to something, and there are new people, but they are in a more advanced stage to where what we keep doing is a thing of the past. And I'm like, hey, the old way don't work like that no more. Nobody's paying attention that much, or these people ain't really got the money to really fund. And if you just want to do those things, well, you're gonna make something possible impossible, and that's what just keeps happening. It makes it harder to accomplish it as we would have been able to back then. When we, like I say, we know the day is different. Back in the day, people used to crowd. They used to go to events, go to clubs. Now, clubs thin as heck. Even the DJs, I know, they're like, man, shoot, club ain't the same. They don't even really DJ no more, except for lounges where people sit down and don't dance. So you just got a different day. You got to figure out how to maneuver through this time and be able to accomplish it in the now. And a lot of that is with social media, but then we run across the problem with social media because everybody don't want to learn it fully. They use it, but do they really understand and know what they're doing with it? Will they invest time in the learning? Will they pay money to learn more? Depending on who they are, the answer is majority no. So that's what makes it more challenging today than it was back then. This wasn't around. The distractions wasn't
so
there.
with that said, what do you get tired? Like, does it feel like, all right, look, all right,
A lot. A lot. I quit a lot. I'll be like, man, I ain't even finna. Ask Brian how many times I said, man, I'm done with this playground, man. They ain't even paying. I'm finna stop doing it. They don't even want to play, because you cross people that want it, will come up to you, meet you, and tell you in your face, this is what I want to do, and then the ass disappear. And it's like, why did you even waste my time pretending that you want it? And a lot of times they're not pretending. They just don't realize what it really takes to really make it happen. They don't want to put in the work. I tell people all the time, we stuck in discovery mode. We just want to be discovered and paid. We don't want to work. We want to be the slave. But again, I digress. I keep pushing because I know there are those out there like the G Dash Jones, like the other artists that really, really, really want to, put forth the effort, grind, and really get it. When I cross them, I lock into them and I try to help them as much as I can. But again, like I said, today is different. If you ain't throwing your arms and trying to swim at all, ain't no way in hell I can keep you from drowning.
fact. Woo, that's a bar now, and that's a bar that applies in various areas in life. You play with that.
Yeah.
With that said, so now, okay, right. So now you got Frizzy Productions. You're starting to do these things because you figured out that you wanted to create platforms for different poets. How did that turn into the Poets Playground?
So as I was a poet myself, looking for certain things, like the open mic was there, and it wasn't there as much as I wanted, but it was there, right? And I just got to thinking to myself, like, how can you make this bigger? And it itself was a marketing strategy. To think of, I was sitting, I said to myself, man, I played football, I played basketball, I played all these sports, right? All these places got places to play. Well, what about the poet, right? Yeah, we got the stage, but mostly, singers and plays and stuff like that go on the stage. It ain't really home. It's like rental, But the football team got the football field. The basketball team got the basketball court. I want our own area, and I wanted to make sense of what it is. And when I was just sitting and thinking about that, like, what would I call it? Why wouldn't I call it our playground? Poets Playground. And that's where it came from, that being the place where poets need to come play. Right? And I just built it off of that thought process of literally, like, as we were kids on the playground, we played on the merry-go-round, the swings, all this stuff, And poetry has many different, things to be on the playground. And the show itself, in my head, it ain't been fully developed yet because it ain't been all the way. It's happened, but it ain't all the way accomplished like I want it to be, right? But it's playing in different areas of the venue. Poets coming out of different spots and, putting on the entertainment aspect while at the same time sending the message that need to be heard. It's the issue is getting us all on that page to be able to do that consistently. We've done it. But again, like I say, it's hard to get us together now today as it was back in the days.
What is the full vision of Poets Playground?
So one, I always got their opportunity, right? So there's an open mic segment at the beginning that's literally for people to come and hit. And I've done many things trying to get people to do it. I've given away money. I've given away tickets, merch, things of that nature for if you hit that mic and the people vote on you to being the best poet of the night, you're going to win something, right? Sadly, people are so fearful and scared of the mic. It's hard to get people to hit the mic nowadays. So I've been struggling with getting artists that are good to do that, even themselves, because they're so doubtful. They think so hard on themselves from somebody that down them that I didn't know or didn't meet. But it's that opportunity first part. The second phase is to have a dope feature like yourself or any of the other artists that want to travel from out of town to come and take up a portion of time in doing what they do. but also understanding the marketing agenda behind it, right? You could be the best singer in the world if nobody knows you because you're not marketing it. Your value plummets, right? So we got to get to that level of understanding how we need to market ourselves as artists so that we can build our fan base so that when we do show up to places, people really show up and show out to see you, which is a strong phase that needs to be done. And then that last part is the consistent players. I at least want 4 artists consistently that'll show up and put on the entertainment at the end of the show that people are going to leave wanting more, wanting to come back immediately because of something that they heard or something that they seen or something that somebody said touched them. The thing is, like I say, is getting all these moving parts together today is so much harder, so much harder. So it ends up being some of the show, like say maybe 2 or 3 people hit the mic. Of course, when my features come down, Lyric Hunter is featured. She's been dope. Black Noise just left from here. He's been dope. Moody Black gonna be here in January. DPC gonna be here in March of next year. It's been people that's come through. I'm just trying to really think off my head. All the people, St. Louis done been down. Like some people have showed up and showed out on the stage. But like I say, the thing is to get it more tighter, get those that really, really want to do it, the opportunity, and then of course the freedom, because they be working jobs and I can't be here this day, or I don't got no babysitter this day. You know, it keeps it from being the magic that it needs to be. Ultimately, I wanted to have those 4 or 5 that's gonna be really down with it. And I wanted to travel the country with it. I wanted to take it to the places because I know people ain't gonna be able to all come to Nashville. That was understood even when by business, like people can't travel like that. So move it. Do a playground in the DMV, do a playground in California, and really link up with the people that I've met virtually to make the magic happen. And it's gonna get there. Not there yet, but it will get there to where I'll be able to be like, hey, these dope people that I'm working with, they're gonna be there. Y'all ready to go make this money? Let's go. And to do it consistently.
Absolutely, that's dope. And inspirational as well. I applaud that. When I hear it, it makes me wonder, like, so because you already do the virtual thing, you do the in-person thing. What made you even go into this virtual arena to do it this way as well?
COVID messed up my plans. Man, listen. March 2020, myself, B.A. the Lou, and Chavez the Poor was about to set it off in Nashville, Tennessee. And then COVID hit. Canceled my whole plans of being just in person first. And the virtual was a backup thing that we did. We said, shoot. Well, we can't play in person for real because everybody got a mask and social distance and everybody was scared and freaking out about COVID or whatnot. So March of 2020, we decided to go virtual with doing open mics online and to reach out and meet new people. And really knowing this and understanding this at the time, what I thought everybody, you had that thing of everybody know how to do what I do. They know how to do this, right? So I put it out there. I'm like, they finna find this or whatnot. And it wasn't getting no hits. And I'm thinking to myself, hold up, I know I ain't crazy. Like, it got to be somebody out there that's, that want to be, poor, want to do the open mic. And wasn't nobody really hitting. And I come to find out that we waiting so much for opportunity that we don't seek for it. Like literally, don't look for it. Another thing that taught me that before I started doing this event, a lot of y'all don't know, there's an event known as the Bill Street Art Crawl. Happens in Memphis, Tennessee. Vicky Love is the owner of, she started it. She owns Bill Street Art Crawl. Memphis, Tennessee is where we brought a lot of artists literally to Bill Street to sell their art. We put that event together, and she hit me up and she like, man, I'm trying to get these artists to get on board with this so that they can make money. And the artist painter, visual artist, wasn't paying attention. I said, dang, man, they ain't looking for opportunities. They're waiting for opportunities. So I said, we have to go the other way around then, Vicky. And I showed her how to use this app and how to go find them and how to go present it to them. So it was harder to go that route, but we had to literally go find them and say, hey, this is an opportunity for you. Do you want it? And a lot of them were like, yeah, I want this, you know. So they were just waiting. They wasn't looking, actually seeking, they were waiting. Same thing happening with poetry. They're not seeking. They waiting. They'll put a poem out there and they let them watch the views and hopefully something happen and they pray, hold their hands together. Somebody gonna call me. And the whole time we got stuff out there like call for artists that they never looked for. So clearly there's been a breakdown in knowledge and in communication to understand that, hey, there are people out here that want you, but they also have to run business and you got to take some action on your end. But nevertheless, when I realized that back then, I knew when I did this, I wanted to do the same approach. So I started messing with people's pages to get them to see Poets Playground, see the opportunity that was there and growing it from there. And just consistency. When they say consistency is key, if you continue to do it consistently, it grows. As gradual as it may be, but it grows. And I just done it and just kept building. And eventually, you know, we're here. Or a lot of people have heard about it, have either played there at one point or are wanting to play, just scared as hell to get even on the screen. You know, they scared of screen time. Boom, look at yourself. I just play. But that's what started that. Like I said, we took it online because we couldn't be in person, and started growing online, connecting, reaching out with the whole intent to one day be in person for real, with either traveling one or with those that were local.
I think the dopest part about it, and I don't even know if you know this, so you'll tell me if you notice it. COVID happens, you wind up inside, you start this in March, but based on your mission, based on how this whole thing started, right? 3 months after you start doing this online, George Floyd happens. And this is necessary. Then your same message that drove you to the stage is the same message that means you're needed virtually in multiple places as that place. Did that hit you? Were you like, yeah, all right, yep, we're what I'm doing.
Oh, that hit the world. That hit the world when that happened.
Yeah, but I mean, you having this platform that was here for that purpose.
Oh,
like, yep.
Yeah, oh yeah, but definitely it hit me. But like I said, as that hit the world, we had no choice at that point but to recognize virtual stuff, because everybody at that point, all you had to do was type George in and Floyd was gonna pop up. And being that we were already aggressive about police brutality, anything written about that type of stuff started bringing more stuff to light. It did give it its boost. Gave also a place for people to release, because that literally PISSED a lot of people with that situation. So the playground was one of the places that they were able to release, and I was glad for it. You know, even still, like I said, the poem I played today was Ozzy Monet poem from way back then. And it's talking about protecting the serve rights, you know. And that's the reason why I play those things even still, because I don't want us to think that it's changed. I don't want us to get into a space to where we're not seeing it no more, so we think it's not happening. It's still happening. It just happened. We ain't able to say their name right now. So it's gonna always consist, as long as we're living, it's gonna be needed. Those platforms are gonna need to be here for us to say the stuff that needs to be said. And like I said, our creativity is going to have to be in getting it in front of people that need it more. Like I say, somebody right now, it just happened to, and they don't even know we exist still, to be able to reach out and say, hey, can you at least say my loved one's name? Which brings up a whole nother issue that I ran into a lot of people, but a lot of people feared saying the name of George Floyd or Tamir Rice, you know, because we just felt like, well, I'm sure they don't want us in their business. No, they want you to speak for their loved one. Trust me, and I've met them. I've met many people on this journey, mothers of those that were killed by the police, children that done wrong, and the mama come to me, she like, I tried my best to raise them, right? They want y'all to say their names. So if you are one out there that feel like, you know, I ain't just bold enough to say that and talk about people I ain't never met in my life, please get that out of your mentality and at least, you know, say my thoughts are with the family so that they know people care. Cause they need to hear this stuff. I've met some amazing people here. There was a athlete here in Alabama, early 2020, 21, 22. I can't remember. If his name come back to me, I remember. But he was killed in the hotel, finna get ready to go to the NFL. His dad showed up at my poetry event. So, and it's like people that really need you will show up if you are out there doing what you need to be doing. So don't be afraid to say people's name. Don't be afraid to take those stages and do what needs to be done. Because they need you. They need you. They need you. They need you. Even when you think they don't, they need you. Even when they think they don't, they need you.
Absolutely, being a voice to the people. This is what art is. That's my favorite part about moments like this is the why of the art and the part that makes it matter. Right? Sometimes the business of poetry makes it difficult because people don't understand the business of poetry, and it makes it, you know, and it's the business of art, right? Art for commerce makes things very, 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 very difficult because it's like, wait, am I supposed to be doing this? How does this work? Am I going to be able to profit? Is it going to be a thing? And living in that passion makes it hard to keep moving, but there's an end goal or a bigger goal. You got to kind of know what you want in that, you know, in order to be able to continue to move, right? And with that said, when I look at the Poets Playground, right, it started off as one thing, and then it kind of evolved to now you do highlight other poets. You'll play, you know, you find moments where you're playing, you know, legendary poetry moments, right? You built a team of people, right? It's not just you; it's a squad. How did it evolve? How did that evolution happen with the Poets Playground?
Well, again, just with ideas coming in time. Now, again, some of those ideas fell apart. Some are there, some fell apart. But again, it's just the process that you got to go through. It might look pretty on the outside looking in. On the inside looking out, doggone, some of the stuff like, oh my God, this ain't finna work. I can't get this person to do this or this or that. You know, you have your issues or whatnot with it. But the evolution of it just came from, hey, what this starts as, it can't end as that. You always want to evolve and become bigger and better. I hope nobody gets into anything thinking that I just want to stay right here. So with me being who I am, I'm gonna start here. But my finish is already, you know, looked at in my mind. I done dreamed about it. It's down there, and I'm trying to go towards that direction. And it's gonna be a fight. And as you asked me, why is it different? Dude, this fight this time is so much harder now than, because again, we already know that knowledge is power, and a lot of knowledge has been kept from people with intention, not necessarily to say ill will, but to protect game, right? You don't want to give your competition your plans. So in creative ways, we do stuff. We ain't finna tell you everything. Well, just over time of that continually happening, we get left behind. Some people don't. I thought people knew. You have that mentality where you're like, everybody got to know what you know, right? But it ain't true. That's the craziest thought. If you think that, wipe that junk out your mind, right? Nobody knows what you know until you confirm that they know what you know. And those things like had to show up for me to realize that. Like I'm thinking, I done graduated high school. My sister done graduated high school. They done graduated college. Ain't nobody at this point talking about being the first of their family graduating high school no more. Damn lie. It's still people in this world that ain't got nan family member that's graduated high school, and they're the first ones to do it. When I was an officer, I thought everybody could read by now. Everybody can read by now. An 18-year-old boy walked up to me and said, "Can you read me my letter? Because I can't read." Stuff like that make you realize, like, okay, let me stop thinking a certain way and start moving differently to try to understand what's really happening and trying to be an impact. So when these things are still existing and are still evident today, they make the struggle harder. There's a reason why people say get around people that are like-minded, because those people can help you for real. The other people can't help you if they wanted to. They can't do nothing but hurt you. So you have to just understand in business, I got to pull the ones that are able to help me first, and then hopefully come back and get the others later, if time permits it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I appreciate you for even being able to do that and caring enough to do that. Now I want to go back and I have to ask you this. How did you know? Was there a moment that let you know this is your calling? This is what you're supposed to
Yeah, yeah. It was that moment where I was looking in the mirror, and it's one of the poems I actually wrote. Who I says when I looked in the mirror, looking around for someone else to do this, and that's when I looked in the mirror and it said, "Son, you're the one." It was just like me just recognizing, stop looking for somebody, you are. Here's the mirror. There you go. It's you. So and since that moment, I've been doing this and realizing that if there's anything that I want done, I must do it. It's not, no one's gonna do it for you, and it's not gonna just happen because it's on your mind. You gotta open your mouth and start either vocalizing it or starting the process of doing it. And that's when things start moving. It takes your energy, and that was my moment. Like I had to look in the mirror and be like, okay, you ain't found nobody yet, but there you go, looking right back at yourself.
Yes, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. To me, it is, because it's realizing your purpose and it's seeing it within you, and that that's one of the things that, to me, the purpose starts at just wanting to be better, and then eventually you have that type of moment, and you're like, oh, okay, well, I guess this is what I'm supposed to be doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that to me is fire. Now, just so now this has been an amazing conversation. I'm so glad to hear your story, because I don't think most people have heard your story. So
They haven't.
that's an honor for me. You feel me? I like these moments, little ego moment for me. You know? But bigger than that, I think that it's an inspirational space to be in. Now, I like to ask all my guests this question, right? If you had to give advice to a younger version of yourself, right? Before deputy sheriff, before the stages, before the production, before any of those things, right? Just little Frizz, you had to give some gems to little Frizz out there, little Frizz. Okay, what advice would you give? The caveat is the year is still 2024, so all the 2024 things are happening, but you are a younger you. Back then, what advice would you give to a younger version of yourself in 2024?
I gotta ask one question before I answer that.
Okay.
Am I able to have the knowledge that I have today to tell myself it?
Yeah, this is you giving advice, your current self giving advice to that former version.
So I went through all these experiences, and now I can go back to that dummy back there, right? I tell that dummy back then, and I told my friend today, I said, I tell that dummy, listen, buy houses while you are young right now, because later on the cost is gonna be where they are today, and you're gonna be rich. You're gonna be filthy rich. I definitely always try to tell my younger self the keys of success, right? You definitely want to, of course, feed yourself that. I'm not gonna try to sway or change anything I've done. Because one, I don't think I've done anything too bad to want to sway or change. But two, here I am doing exactly what I want to do. So the stuff that I'm doing, the things that I'm pushing to accomplish are yet things that I believe in and would still be doing. Again, I would feed myself more information that would have saved time had I known everybody can't read right now, and like stuff like that as far as communication wise, that words and sounds don't have the same inflection that they do to yourself. You know, it's real complex. Those things is what I would go back and tell myself. Say, hey, you got to really open up your eyes. You gonna start some stuff you don't even realize you starting. And still, even today, I do that. Like you could, if someone catches the wrong look, glare, or whatever in their mind, they'll be ready to fight you. And I learned that from being in California, and I spoke to a guy. Me and my guy was over there just on vacation, and I said the words, "What up?" And down south, "What up?" mean hello.
Yeah.
But over there, that guy at that moment, he was ready to
Oh,
fight. Like, what do you
it
mean?
wasn't
What's
what
up?
up. It was what up, folks. I get it. Wow. Yeah.
So when you learn those lessons in life, you learn to apply them and understand that just because you said it and had the intent for it to come out a certain way, you still got to be careful and understand that they received it that way. Stuff I will pass to my younger self so that I can be a better communicator. I'm sure I missed out on so many opportunities or so many things that I could have stopped or avoided because I just didn't hear or didn't understand them correctly. And I would try to feed my younger self that information to avoid it as the future would come.
Ooh. Oh man, well said. Hold up. Yes. That was, listen, because there is a youngin out there right now that's going to stumble across this while strolling and catch that and feel like, oh, hold on, I didn't know. And that may, you know, that may move forward somebody's world. So I appreciate you for that. Thank you, sir. Also, now, with that said, I tell all my guests, right? I tell all my guests, I say, listen, if you give me a word, I give you a poem. Now, because you are a poet, you have the option. You can either give me a word or you can give me a poem. Either way, will be either responding to the poem you give me with a poem that's connected to it, or if you give me a word, I will be creating a poem out of that. With that said, while you think of those things, what I like to do at this point, again, you are watching Hats Off with your boy G-Jones, and this is going to be what I like to call a quick hat tip. Blip, blip. I said a quick hat tip. Blip, blip. Where I give a quick shout out to those doing some things and events that made it happen all across and around what we got cooking. So, first and foremost, I got to give a quick hat tip. Blip, blip. To Delaware Music Network. Yes, we had Joshua David Barrett out there. Listen, if y'all don't know, he was out there bouncing live at Finnegan's. Shouts out to Finnegan's as well. The man's vocal control was amazing. And he was on that guitar just sounding all irie. Got you feeling good in your spirit. Shouts out to Joshua David Barrett at Delaware Music Network. Also, quick hat tip. Blip, blip. So the quick hat tip. Blip, blip. WJBS anniversary. Yes, they celebrated their anniversary. Gotta give a shout out to them for being able to not only just being a local radio station kind of making things happen, but also making sure that they highlight different artists and different localized music that people know and love. Also, quick hat tip, blip, blip, so the quick hat tip, blip, blip, to the Newcastle County Chamber of Commerce. We'll say what? Listen, they had a whole women's situation conventions. Man, listen, I would listen. I wasn't there personally, but in spirit, listen, because it was amazing. They had every workshops with everyone from Jen Tompkins, from the Metropolitan Women's and Urban League, Ashley Cooper, Drone University, Taryn Fletcher. It was just so many just amazing, women up there giving each other gems and just, inspired to them. So shouts out to them. Quick hat tip. Blip, blip, to the Wilmington Library. What? Yes. Listen, our Wilmington Library just had Jalil White. He was up there talking big Urkel talk, giving out his book, answering all types of questions. Shouts out to him. They had Marla Gibbs recently. Shouts out to her. And they did a coat drive. Listen, Wilmington Library, best library in the world. I don't know what to tell you. I said what I said. Also, quick hat tip. Blip, blip. Quick hat tip. Blip, blip. Yes, to Delaware Business First, a.k.a. co-founder King Creative. Both of them, they had a networking event. I was out there at the Post. It was a great time, a great situation. It was partially sponsored by the Black Chamber of Commerce. So shouts out to them, doing some things, getting people together, exchanging information. So shouts out to all those involved in making that happen. Also, I gotta do a quick hat tip. Blip, blip. Oh, to my poets, y'all. That's a fact. This is why I do this once a month. I gotta talk to different poets to highlight what they doing and platforms shows. So the hat tip going now. Al B JC and the Al B JC Poetry Club, Deep Thought, the lyricists and all of that. In their poetry situation. Ram Rock Speaks. He got a couple of them going on. Clouds of Haze, my man Artie Fox gets it cooking on Clubhouse as well. That whole world. I also, locally, also got to give another hat tip to Nataki Oliver, blip, blip, because she's taking submissions for her art situation. Go ahead, look her up for the Soul Firm to submit. Also, Sarah Crawford, hat tip, blip, blip, because she's taking nominations for her legacy. Go ahead, look that up and make your submissions there. And another quick hat tip, blip, blip, to Frank, Frizzy, Sykes. What am I doing? You know what I mean? For being such an amazing guest and having such a dope conversation and dropping all of those gems. Anybody you want to give a quick hat tip out to? Blip, blip.
Man, shout out to you, G Last John, for doing what you're doing. Keep doing it. I love it. Amazing to all you poets out there grinding. Keep fighting until you get it. It's all I can get done.
All right. With that said, are you going to give me a word or are you going to give me a poem?
I'm going to give you a poem.
Okay.
Make it a little bit challenging. See where you go with it, because I'm kind of curious.
I love this.
Of how you bounce back off of one of my harder and deeper poems. Let's see. All of this happened in time. Systematic processes controlling the thought, leaving the people legally blind. You see, I'm a legacy looking ahead of me, forgetting the past pains of slavery, just trying not to get left behind. Spoken words of truth, please lock me in this booth just so that I can say, y'all better get in line. Don't slip, no. Don't let yourself slip into this Americanized mind. Don't let your thoughts wander over into thinking that everything is fine. Feeling that success has been accomplished causes us to go into a cruise control, and some forget to use the mind. Forgetting about that brake pedal, ignoring the stops that are ahead. This collision becomes system-led, putting every last one of us in a bind. I said, don't slip. Don't let yourself slip into an Americanized mind. Don't let your thoughts ever be to place those that you think are beneath under your feet. Place no man under your feet, and understand that we are all quite unique, and that when it comes to survival, there's really only one way that a man can truly be, and that's by any means necessary. And I know this is where things start to get a little bit scary, because these burdens become these heavy loads, and they say there's only so much that one man can carry, but they say God will never put it on me. But truth be told, I'm starting to get a little bit wary, because this load is getting heavy. I said this road is looking scary. Can't take this load. You see, I wasn't ready. I looked over to my brother just to get the response. I got my own shit to carry. Don't slip. Don't let yourself slip into this Americanized mind. In peace.
I'm thinking. When will I get it? All right, maybe in due time. But with my current frame of mind, I could go through the feeling that I was just provided line by line and then respond with the fact that I don't want to feel what you said, and that's simply by design. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I losing it? Am I losing my grip? Am I starting to slip into this Americanized dream? Okay, I get it. Picket fences, 2.5 families, but fatherless children are all that we typically have seen. Okay, fine. Even the dog that runs up Well, mine was taught to eat up anything that tends to cross that line. Oh, all right, all right, all right, all right. Maybe I'm losing mine. Maybe I'm running out of mine. Maybe I'm thinking that this is all gonna just subside in due time. Well, maybe it won't. But you telling me not to slip, as if I fall, it won't be easier than what it is standing in this bullshit. I mean, maybe if I fall, that'd be easier than walking through the abyss of which I'm surrounded by nothing but hatred that looks like it's smiling faces, because that's a lot easier of a way to lure me into catching the next cases, because if I have to look them in the eye, I won't realize that has been reconstructed since Reconstruction, and they don't want me to identify the face. I get it. Oh, they gave me this dream and they told me it was a gift. Okay, my bad. We here, and I'm not supposed to be lying like that. They gave me this nightmare and told me that this present will always be present, so I have to recognize this presence, and in due time, all it will do is unfold inside of my mind and make sure that I live without understanding where I'm at any given time. Maybe I've already slipped. Maybe it's already been normalized. Maybe what I don't realize is the lessons that were told to me by those that were meant to be too wise felt like it was just something that they were just saying, and the other half was saying things to indoctrinize. So it's easier to believe them than for them to look at me and me to look internally. I mean, somebody, please hush down. I don't even want to hear something. I don't know what they're trying to get me. I don't even know what they're trying to tell me. It's a lot easier for me to say I don't understand than to have my heart open, to have my spirit open, to have myself knowing that the things that they have for me make me have to tread lightly. So when you tried to hand that to me, bruh, I told you, I got my own shit to carry. Honestly, and to say it fairly, I got you, fam. What I mean is, I got my two hands to carry that after they leave you buried. I know that's a future that seems too real, and maybe it seems too scary, but sorry, you said we were in a bind. Nobody said that it could get shapen. In other words, it's meant to be hairy. I say this fairly. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm okay with not getting a grip because they told me that's the easiest way to handle this. Maybe I'm saying this out loud so somebody else will stand tall and help me up after I slip. Hold on.
Gee, that's Jones in the building, dropping them balls.
Frank Frizzy in the building. Don't do that. That was that. Listen, I had to breathe after I said it because the energy that you gave. I said, "Is this what we doing?" You put me to a place, brother. Woo!
I had to make it at least interesting to see where you were gonna go with it. And you definitely brought some things to light. You brought some things to light, so when people hear it, it'll hit where it need to hit.
Yeah. Bless your soul, brother. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining this show. This has been an amazing episode. Anything you want to say to people before we get up out of here?
Man, and let's keep pushing, y'all. Even though I get it, a lot of times poetry get heavy, right? But don't run. Don't run from your fears. Don't run from your monsters. If you're around me, you'll be one to learn and know that anything that comes hard to you, you need to face it. It's what builds strength. Period. A lot of people say, I done been through so much. Yeah, you made it through it though, and you're stronger. And understand that is truth. That when you go through tough times, rough times, hard things, and you come out on the other side, you are stronger in some shape, form, or fashion. So just keep pushing through it. I'll always be one to tell you, don't run from it, run through it and make it happen. Man, it's been a blessing, G-Jones, man. Just the opportunity to be on the screen with you another time. It's been so long, it feels like. But yet again, still here doing your thing, making it happen. By all means, blessings to you. Blessings to all y'all out there. If you want to find me, you know where to look. Poets Playground. I'm here. That's all I got, bro. That is all I got. See, I'm tired again. I'm finna go to sleep.
Yeah, we just went in. Wise words from a decent man. Again, thank you all for listening. Thank you for joining and having such an amazing conversation. If you missed it, rewind back at some point. I'll be posting this momentarily. Gems was just dropped all over the place, as well as an amazing story. Again, shouts out to all the things, even DJ Killer Noise playing tricks, the opening theme song, everybody involved with this one. Again, I like to always say, love yourself first, and everything else will fall in place. This is Hats Off with your boy G-Jones. Hey.